All right, Craig. We're in it. We're in the elusive, at least to us,
Finally.
half-ton diesel GM.
Yes, half-ton diesel.
Half-ton diesel.
Duramax,
Duramax.
but baby Duramax.
Right. So
Also known as the LM2.
Okay. What makes the LM2 so special compared to the other half-ton diesels that are available right now? Because Ford has one and FCA has one.
Right, so Ram has one. It's a Venturi motor one. Ford's got one. Basically, it's a Land Rover diesel.
Right.
I don't know if that makes you feel good or not. And then this one, GM's finally made one. They're the last ones to it. They all make 3-liter diesels with a half-ton.
Right.
Except
Same.
this one, clean sheet design.
Okay.
They designed it just for this chassis, which also includes the Tahoe and Yukons.
Right.
And
Suburbans and Tahoes.
it's an inline 6 versus a V6.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which, you kind of misled me.
Hi, Ron. You seem excited.
I am, man.
Why are you so excited?
You told me we were driving a 3-liter inline 6, turbocharged. It gets 30 miles a gallon. It can only be a BMW or a Mercedes.
No,
Maybe
it's just a GMC. I knew you'd get excited about inline 6 and turbo.
I really thought we'd be in a 3 Series today or a 4 Series, but not even close.
No, not even close.
Not even close. Interesting. So it is 3 liters. It is in 6-cylinder. But it's a different variant. So instead of going like this, it goes like this.
Which one was the first one?
Like that.
Is that a V?
Or like that. Yeah.
Okay. Man, I'm confused by your hand symbols. What are you wearing?
A green pullover from our... Wait, the same thing you're wearing.
Don't you know where we're driving today?
It says GMC right here.
Right, you know what that means.
Oh.
Professional grade.
That's right.
That's better.
It's better.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the exterior.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, this is the 5th generation Sierra.
Yep.
Also, or 4th generation Silverado. Not really sure why they're different there. But
they are.
Sure, the internet will tell us in the comments.
Let us know.
Came out in 2019.
Yep.
So this is 2021 model.
So 19, 20, 21.
The 3rd year of it.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a little different than the previous generation. Pretty bold. What do you think?
It is bold.
Yeah.
I
What do you think about that grille?
I think I like the previous Gym better. Kind of like the Yukon review we did.
Yes.
I'm not going to call it ugly, but it does seem busier than before. And the previous truck, I really admired it because it was such a clean design.
Yeah.
But GM was they only used rulers to design cars back then. So maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's better that it has a little bit of a swoop on the front.
Right. When they designed this GMC,
I know what
you know what's coming. Fist in the wind. So if you look at the grill, that's the grill, and it's a really sharp angle fist in the wind. They wanted it to look like a fist in the wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? So what if you're married and you have a fist in the wind? Is that different than if you're not married? Fist in the
I'm
wind?
not sure how that works. So, well, that's what some of the chrome is on the grill.
Ah, okay, I got it. So this truck's hitched for sure. But there's a mechanical disadvantage to that design.
Well, there is that. So there are some Sierra models that the exact same package in the Silverados, like engine and transmission package,
right?
Don't get as good a gas mileage as the Silverado because the Silverado is more aerodynamic.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, exact same trucks, but don't get the same gas mileage.
Like by a little bit, or by
like 3 miles a gallon
on the exact same trim and spec?
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that an EPA or is that
it's aerodynamics?
That's bizarre to me.
A fist.
Okay, so if you care about mileage, think about that.
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
We're cutting that.
What do you think about the X31 package and the tires and the stance and the? What do you think?
Is it a lift kit or a lowering kit? I'm having trouble telling the difference. Look, I'm joking because in filming B-roll earlier, we both noticed that if this truck was 2-wheel drive, if you told me it was 2-wheel drive, I would absolutely believe you. It doesn't put off the look of an FX4 or an AT4,
right?
In that it has some type of off-road prowess. I don't think that it does. The side steps, the low front air dam, I feel like this is a really good inclement weather all-wheel drive system, but this is not a mud bog or rock crawling style.
Right.
Although the AT4 does exist for that. Let's move on to interior.
Let's do it.
We're in professional grade, Craig.
We are professional grade, which means we like a lot of square things.
We do.
And you've got a problem with that.
Yeah. Typically, Craig, dials and needles, for example, this watch.
You mean like round ones?
They do this.
Because they're round.
They're round.
Yeah.
Gauges sweep.
Yeah.
Why are these square?
Because it's professional grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So GM
Chevy makes them round. GM squares them off.
So GMC still uses rulers to. Okay.
Well, it's that fist stuff.
Fist stuff. Okay.
Carrying over.
Now, all that being said, they are easy to read. They're pretty clear. There's a deer.
Brake check, wildlife show.
We always get that.
Yeah. So, hey, deer.
You brought up something interesting about the gauge earlier, though. The tack and the speedo are both pitched in just slightly.
Yeah, and I think that's a neat little trick. I like that.
I like that. It is comfortable in here. It is well equipped. We do have ball chillers.
Yep.
And
very
heated
nice.
seats. You can differentiate between heating the back and the bottom, or just the back.
Which is weird, but
yes. I
think sometimes you would want just the bottom, but
right. It's pretty comfortable.
So okay, now what about the design of the triggers? I know you've got a bit of a beef with that.
Ram, when they came out with the current gen FCA, or the Ram pickup 1500, they reset the bar on truck interiors. They just took the scale and took it up another notch. Ford has now met them.
Okay.
Right? So I would argue that you just buy the one that you prefer for certain features. You can't make the argument on interior alone, though, between those two. This feels like it's not 2 years old. It feels like it's 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it in fairness, it is the most dated interior outside of the Toyota.
It is.
Even Nissan's newer than this on the interiors. I will say there are some things I think are better than the Fords. We were recently in the 2021 F-150. I think the temperature control dial, GM's got this figured out. They got it figured out a long time ago.
They did figure that out first.
I think it looks the best. I think it looks a little better than even the new Ford one.
I think it's negligible between the two.
All right, we switched.
You know what time it is.
Dynamics.
Floor it.
Whoa. The Fury. Oh, yes.
12 minutes, 13 seconds, and 4 degrees.
It's not that slow. So we've switched.
We've switched.
And it's dynamics. Now we're going up this nice hill, no problem.
That's true.
Lickety split. What do you think?
Well, it's no secret. I'm not a major fan of diesels.
We switched because you hate diesel so much, I'm driving it.
That's why we've swapped roles on this episode. Credit where it's due.
Yep.
It sounds like a school bus. It makes the fun diesel sounds, not the annoying ones. It doesn't tick and ping too much. And it's one of the most refined diesels I've driven. Oddly enough, if you told me this was a V8 diesel, I would believe you, because it just makes diesel sound. It doesn't really make inline 6 diesel sound.
Sure.
All that being said, I still prefer the 6.2 over the 3-liter Duramax. If it were for me, if it were my pick, I would take the
fair point. And so that you're begging the tough question. So we got this whole diesel argument and debate, and
which is really the point of this episode.
And it's really weird in these half tons. So let's just talk about diesels in general.
Sure.
So
let me ask you, why get one?
Why get one?
Well, for the common man, why get one?
Well, first off, let's go back to diesels just overall in this country. So diesels in Europe, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They're all over.
Prominent.
They make a bunch of them. Everybody in the forums, all car people, hey, they make the diesel over there, bring the diesel over here. Why don't they do it?
Right.
There's a reason for that. And the reason that is legislation. So in Europe, there's a lot of regulations, and all the regulations for cars, it's all about how far you can go on a single tank of fuel.
Okay.
They don't care which kind of fuel you're using.
Okay.
In the States, it's all about the particulate matter you're putting into the air.
Which is why we have DEF filters and things like that.
Why we have DEF filters, and it makes everything harder for a manufacturer to make the same motor work here in the States and pass an emissions test.
Right.
So, here we are.
Which is part of my issue, right? Because we're not in Europe, and we do have those regulations.
Right.
And I've owned a diesel before. I've been down this road enough.
Right.
The thing I hear all the time, Craig, is get a diesel because it gets better fuel economy.
Yeah.
There's a problem with that.
Okay.
Diesel costs more than gasoline.
About 15% more.
How much better mileage does this get over a gas or equivalent?
About 15% more.
Okay.
At least according to the EPA.
According to the EPA.
Talked about diesels in this country.
Right.
Now let's talk about truck diesels.
Sure.
So truck diesels, traditionally, it's all about the big boys.
Right.
The heavy duty, you're towing all the time. You need the long-term reliability for something when you're giving it that much load.
Right.
And that's what they're for.
Right.
And maybe a little bit better mileage, but not necessarily. So now they're starting to come in the half tons. Why in the half tons? People with half tons don't tow all the time.
Hang on. Do you remember when Oldsmobile made diesel cutlasses?
Yeah, it was a bad move. It was a really bad move.
This feels a little like that. Why do the half tons have to have diesels all of a sudden? Are we in 1978?
It does feel like that. I don't really understand why I need them in a half ton, unless it's all about the fuel. I think you get a diesel. I think the whole purpose of a half ton diesel, I think there's two reasons. One is fuel economy. Two is people want a diesel. So and the salesman told us. So we asked the salesman at Hiley, where we were borrowing.
By the way, they were very nice to provide this.
Very nice. Check out Marshall.
They have a great staff down there and a lot of inventory.
Yes, and so we asked them, why do people get diesels? And they said, well, why?
I just want a diesel.
People want a diesel. So to your point, that's correct.
So this is for the guy that can't afford or doesn't want a 3/4 ton, right? Because they are significantly more expensive. Or doesn't want it to ride like a 3/4 ton.
Right.
They want the half-ton goodness because as we talked about before, the half-ton crew cab truck just does everything.
Yeah.
But he still wants it to sound like a diesel, and feel like a diesel.
Yeah.
This does a really good job of that.
But I think it's to me, I don't think it's too much. Like when I drive the 6.7 in the Fords, the 6.6 Duramax,
it feels like it's gonna twist the frame.
They sound like diesels. They're rattly, and it's like my truck, driving them in truck. This is not. I don't get that. I get hints of that, but it doesn't overwhelm me.
This would never annoy someone's spouse.
So we'll crank it up to 70, and we'll see where we're at the end of the thing. But
so this is Texas.
We're averaging 27,
75 in most places.
So far, 27 is better than you can get in any gas half ton.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with that.
True. That's true.
But if you could do the math from real quick, do 27 times 0.85.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. Wait, what was that? 27?
Yep, 27 times 0.85. So that's the same as 23 miles a gallon highway.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot of gas F1 or half tons.
Yeah, we keep saying on 50 because the 2.7 EcoBoost really does that, and also the gas Ecotec 5.3 gets pretty close to that.
Very close. So, and that's my problem, and that's the big debate.
Yeah.
I don't think the question on this is why get a diesel over a gas. The question is, or which diesel to get. The question is, why even get the diesel at all if the gas is the same?
That's my argument from the get-go.
So to me, if this sucker doesn't get 30, I don't really. It's a big struggle for me unless you just want a diesel.
Now, if you just want a diesel, man, I can't fault you on that. This is a good example. We haven't driven the Ford diesel yet,
right?
But with its Land Rover roots, the jury's out on its reliability as well.
Yeah.
And I do inherently like that this is just an inline six, like Cummins is their inline sixes.
Right.
And this seems to have a pretty good character to its diesel engine. I'm not a diesel fan.
Right.
So I couldn't argue with someone who got this just because they wanted it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's like getting a noisy Harley Davidson or a noisy sports car. You get it because you want it. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is a great example to get it. You don't get it by lying to yourself saying it's for fuel economy. That's not the answer.
Well, it can still be that answer, but don't kid yourself. Don't go bragging to your buddies that you're getting 27.
Yeah.
When they're getting 24.
Because it's the same thing.
Because it's the same thing.
When you offset fuel.
When you offset the extra cost for fuel for diesel.
Right.
It's the same.
Okay.
So, what about the hipster score? Are you ready for this? So it's gonna be tricky on this one because you got the whole diesel factor. Does that help? But it is a truck. It is 4-wheel drive. So, are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
4. Okay. Well, that's good.
No debate. We know it's a 4.
Okay, it's a 4. There we go. Why did you get the 4?
Apple CarPlay.
Apple CarPlay, 1 point.
Not a Raptor.
Not a Raptor, 2 points.
Overlandability.
Overlandability, adventureness, yes.
It's 4-wheel drive enough.
Yep. Indeed.
And that diesel only counts because of the fry oil burning Mercedes of the 80s.
Which this one won't do.
Which this one won't do.
It's too high tech.
It's too high tech.
Yeah.
But it's actual, even though the fuel costs more, it is using less fuel than gasoline, regardless of price.
Right.
So it's using less fossil fuels to get down the road. So it counts a little bit.
Okay, so we've established what hipsters think about this. We've established that it's professional grade.
Yep.
We've established that half-ton crew cab pickup trucks are unbelievable.
They're the do-it-all.
In our
part of the country,
we've established we don't really know what the diesel and the half-ton's for.
I don't either. No.
We've established this is a good one.
This is a good one.
In fact, we've established this is probably the one to get out of the diesels that are out there. It's debatable, but it's a good one. So that leaves us one question. Who is this for? Who is the Duramax, the baby Duramax in the half-ton for?
I'm going to flip this on you.
Okay.
Because you're driving right now.
Okay.
Craig, who is this truck for? Because I don't know.
Well, I think the salesman Marshall at Hiley summed it up for us when we picked up the truck.
Yep.
This is for somebody that needs a half-ton truck like everybody in the world needs, let's be honest, but wants a diesel.
They just wanted to be a diesel.
That's it.
Just because.
That's it. That's who this is for.
And just like every other half-ton, it can go to a business meeting, as you can see. It can go to your kid's soccer game.
Yep.
It can take your boss to lunch. And it is technically four-wheel drive. You can throw some mud on it.
And by the way, that's who's getting it.
That's who's getting it.
So there you go. It's got a water-to-air intercooler, 36,000 psi high-pressure common rail fuel injection, electronically controlled actuated variable geometry turbo,
but be sure to
175,000 RPM, 29 psi boost, cast aluminum block, dual overhead can. That's it?
That's it.
Okay.